Singapore's tech startups are getting a helping hand as funding becomes harder to come by. Now, new programs aim to connect innovative emerging companies with established ones, giving them access to mentorship and networking opportunities. Nicholas tells us more.
This startup wants to try beating the heat by covering buildings with a special coating. They say that it not only reflects light, but it's designed to let water move through in a way that lets the building sweat. For Entrepreneurship Lab, developing the coating was just the first step.
We have to build out our branding to be able to accept, and we have to show people how this works. And that is why we have lined up a few test trial bids. Even we have interest from the public sectors to help us develop our case.
These opportunities were made possible through programs that connect startups with established companies. Other initiatives also aim to help startups get better access to funding and gain exposure to overseas markets. Singapore's trade arm is also adjusting some of its existing support to be tailored to a startup size.
Deep tech takes a long time and we may not see the results right away. Founders and entrepreneurs may also not succeed on their first try. So really our long-term vision is to build Singapore into an innovative, open and connected startup ecosystem.
Each of these schemes includes cooperation between the public and private sectors. By building bonds between these sectors, academics and investors, Singapore aims to strengthen its position as a launchpad for startups to validate and scale.
Singapore's next phase of growth will be defined by how we innovate, connect and collaborate. We will continue to invest in science and technology, strengthen our research talent, and bridge research with enterprise. At the same time, we will keep Singapore a place where entrepreneurs can access capital, global markets, and partnerships to grow.
Mr. Gan says doing so will help Singapore stay competitive in a more uncertain and volatile world.
Now, science entrepreneurs in deep tech can also tap on a new $12 million, Singapore dollar that is, fellowship. The program is a partnership between the Nanyang Technological University and US nonprofit Activate. Fellows will get to access mentorship, funding and direct immersion in the US innovation ecosystem. Now, here to share more is Professor Phee, Vice President of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at NTU Singapore, as well as Dr. Cyrus, Wadia, CEO of Activate. Welcome, gentlemen. Nice to see you. Lewis, if I could start with you, what gap specifically does this $12 million fellowship aim to fill in Singapore's deep tech ecosystem?
Well, Jill, as a small country like Singapore, what we want is for our deep tech startups to go global and to grow into future made in Singapore MNCs. So I think this fellowship addresses a gap in our local I&E ecosystem. You know, local universities like NTU and NUS, along with A-Star, I think we are churning out top-notch deep tech research outcomes. Which has great potential to be translated into impactful products and services. However, our entrepreneurs have limited exposure to large markets like the US. So I think it's timely that National Research Foundation as well as Enterprise Singapore are supporting this fellowship program together with Activate. This allows our entrepreneurs to be mentored by other entrepreneurs who have been successful in the US markets. They would also be introduced into networks where they will rub shoulders with other entrepreneurs and they'll learn from each other, sharing problems and solutions and connections to investors, and all these activities will certainly benefit them tremendously.
And Singapore as well as a whole.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Cyrus, I want to ask you, you chose Singapore, you also chose NTU for your first international expansion. Why? What's so unique about this collaboration?
Yeah, so first off, Singapore represents a remarkable opportunity for us. It is at the crossroads of US and European markets and Asian markets. And that's important to us because if we're going to scale deep tech, we have to be thinking globally. And Singapore was a very obvious choice. There's a long history here, investments in science, investments in entrepreneurship, and very important through business and trade. So Singapore, in a way, became a very clear choice in terms of what we were trying to accomplish. We had some signals early from our entrepreneurs in the United States that they wanted to do more business here in Singapore. And so what we're really excited about is this exchange of talent in both directions.
Yeah. I want to ask you more about that, but before that, Louis, you know, this, I want to know what's the bigger picture here. How does this fit into NTU's broader push for research commercialization?
Well, as a university, NTU aspires to be a top entrepreneurial university. You know, we want to be the birthplace of the next Google or Apple. So, and NTU, our middle name is technological. So we have a lot of great technologies that need to, you know, go to the next stage to be translated into
that last step.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Right. So that is something that we are pushing for, and I think such a fellowship will be a boon to what we're trying to do here.
Well, you know, it sounds exciting, but tell us exactly, Cyrus, what does this look like on the ground? When you say immersion in the US system, how do you see Singapore Fellows interacting with your US network?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. We're going to be bringing some of our US Fellows here to Singapore, not just to experience what's happening here, but to set up shop here. And as we develop an ecosystem here and support entrepreneurs here in Singapore, we plan to bring them over. But what's even more interesting is we have cultivated in the US an ecosystem of 300 partners, including a lot of venture that we're going to bring with us here to Singapore. So now all of a sudden the Singapore entrepreneurs are going to have access in a way they never have before to some of the best in the US for the support they're going to need to keep growing their company.
So, I mean, maybe I could stay with you then and continue on that thought. So how do you ensure that whatever breakthroughs are achieved, you know, over there in the US, you said you're going to bring them back, but how does it translate back into the Singapore economy? How are you going to ensure that?
Well, I think for many things we work on, take industrial materials or advanced agricultural ideas, a lot of those can be born in the United States, but where they want to set up shop to scale an actual manufacturing facility or where they want to grow their business, I think Singapore presents an excellent opportunity for them.
All right. And for you, Louis, as a last question, what would success look like for this particular program?
Well, NTU tracks the valuation of our spin-offs as they grow, you know, after each funding, like Series A, Series B, or how much are they valued at. So we'll be tracking the startups that are affiliated with this fellowship as well. Okay. So hopefully on average they will be higher than the other fellowships. And along the way, if there are one or two unicorns, that wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt at all.
But of course, you know, I'm also looking at these fellows when they come back after their 1 year stint to share their experiences and their learnings with other budding entrepreneurs in Singapore. That to me is also success.
All right.
Can I add to that?
Very quickly. Yeah.
A culture of entrepreneurship is what we're both here to support and cultivate. And I think over time we're going to see more of that.
Appreciate that so much, gentlemen. And I've been speaking there with Professor Louis Phee, Vice President of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at NTU Singapore, as well as Dr. Cyrus Wadia, CEO of Activate. Thank you both.
Thank you.